Have you ever walked into a room or down the street and felt an invisible weight pressing against your soul, the sharp sensation of eyes fixed on you, silently watching your every step? It's not paranoia. It's not your imagination. This strange attention you draw, without saying a word or making a sound, is real. As a chosen one, your presence shifts atmospheres. You may be trying to blend in, but something about you stands out, a frequency that others can feel even if they can't explain it. And for many, that energy is both captivating and unsettling. There's an ancient energy that surrounds you, something eternal that others sense on a subconscious level. You carry light in a world drowning in darkness. You carry truth in a world addicted to illusion. And because of that, people are drawn to you like moths to a flame, but that same light exposes their shadows. That's why some can't stop staring, and others can't look you in the eye. Your presence awakens something deep, something they've been running from. You trigger souls without trying. You reflect back what they cannot face. In this message, we're going to uncover 8 powerful reasons why people constantly stare at you, why their curiosity is mixed with discomfort, their interest tinged with fear. Each revelation will shine a light on the spiritual force that flows through you and the deep impact you have just by existing. So breathe deeply, ground yourself, and open your spirit. If these truths are already resonating in your heart, type in the comments, "I carry the light." Hit the like button, subscribe for more spiritual truths, and turn on the notification bell to stay aligned with this awakening. There is a magnetism around you that cannot be taught, replicated, or explained with logic. People feel it before you even speak. You walk into a space and something shifts. It's your spiritual frequency, high, clean, and potent. It's the energy of someone who has walked through fire and emerged with light in their eyes. While others are tangled in illusion, you radiate clarity. That contrast is felt deeply by everyone around you, even those who don't believe in such things. It's like your energy speaks a language their soul remembers, even if their conscious mind resists understanding it. This is why their eyes lock onto you without warning. It's not about your clothes or your face, it's about your essence. You are unforgettable, even to those who don't know why they remember you. There's something sacred about mystery. And you, chosen one, are cloaked in it. You do not reveal yourself easily, and this creates a sense of wonder in others. In a world addicted to overexposure, you move with restraint and quiet depth. People aren't used to that. They're used to people seeking attention, trying to be seen. But your soul is too ancient for shallow displays. Your mystery is magnetic because it holds secrets. Not secrets of shame, but of sacred knowing, of unspoken power, of paths walked in silence. The world senses you know something they don't. And that knowing draws their gaze like gravity. Yet, that same mystery triggers fear, because people fear what they cannot control or label. You are the unknowable in human form, and that unsettles them. Have you noticed how your silence speaks louder than noise? In crowded rooms, you don't have to shout to be heard. Your calm presence penetrates space. When others talk to fill the void, you sit in stillness, and in that stillness, your spirit expands. Your silence holds weight. It demands respect. It unsettles egos. This is spiritual authority. When you are quiet, you force people to feel their own noise. You hold up a mirror to their inner chaos. And they don't always like what they see. But it's also why they stare. They feel your depth. They sense the rivers running beneath your calm surface. And they are drawn in, trying to see what you're not saying, trying to decode the mystery of your soul. In silence, you dominate the room, and they feel it. There is a sacred fire inside you that creates discomfort in those who have dimmed their own flame. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You walk in your truth without apology. That triggers people. They sense that you are not performing for acceptance, not changing to fit in. That kind of authenticity is rare, and it exposes the ways in which others have compromised themselves. Your confidence, rooted in the divine, not the ego, creates an energetic dissonance in spaces built on insecurity. People stare because they feel that contrast. They see what they once dreamed to be. And that reflection can either inspire them or repel them. But either way, they can't ignore you. You stand out not by trying, but by being. And that makes you unforgettable. There is an anointing on you. A spiritual signature that cannot be erased. Even if you try to hide, you will still be seen. Even if you dress simply or keep to yourself, your spirit cannot be silenced. The divine has marked you. And whether people know it or not, they feel it. The enemy sees it. Strangers see it. Sensitive souls see it. You carry heaven's frequency in a world running on chaos. That frequency speaks even when you are silent. It shifts atmospheres. It awakens memories in others of what is holy, what is pure, what is lost. And sometimes, people stare because they recognize something in you that they've forgotten in themselves. You remind them of who they were before the world hardened their hearts. That's why they can't look away. Sometimes, the eyes watching you are filled with envy. Not always malicious, but aching. You have something they desire, even if they can't name it. It could be your peace, your glow, your inner strength, the way you move through life with grace after everything you've endured. You survived what would have broken them, and that makes you magnetic. But envy is a tricky energy. It starts as admiration, but if left unhealed, it turns into resentment. And suddenly, the one who was once in awe of you now glares with silent judgment. Not because of who you are, but because of what they lack within themselves. Their stares are charged. Some are inspired. Others are threatened. But either way, you are the mirror. And not everyone is ready for their reflection. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be felt. And that is exactly what happens when you walk into a space. People don't always know how to describe you, but they feel you. They feel safer. Or they feel nervous. They feel drawn. Or they feel the need to look away. Because your energy bypasses their intellect and speaks directly to their spirit. This is divine impact. The stare they give you is not always personal, it's spiritual. You're activating something dormant in them. That gaze? It's not about how you look. It's about what your presence awakens. And some people are ready to rise, others are afraid of what will be required of them if they do. So they just stare. Lost in the frequency you carry. Wondering what it would take to become like you. There is something ancient in your soul that the modern world doesn't know how to interpret. Your walk is different. Your energy doesn't match the chaos around you. And so, people stop and stare, not always out of curiosity, but because their spirits are trying to remember where they've seen this before. You carry a light that feels like home to some, and like danger to others. This is spiritual memory. Some people are drawn to you because their souls recognize you from before this life, from other realms, other missions, other lifetimes. They may not consciously understand it, but deep down, they know they've encountered this frequency before. And that familiarity creates a gravitational pull, causing them to look, and keep looking. Not everyone who stares at you is aware of what they're doing. Some are simply reacting to your vibration. The human body is a vessel, but it responds deeply to energy. Your vibration is not only higher, it's rare. It is clean, aligned, and potent. And when lower vibrations come into contact with it, there's always a reaction. Sometimes the reaction is admiration. Other times, it's confusion. And in many cases, it's fear. They don't know why they feel nervous around you. Why they can't hold your gaze. Why their body tenses up. But it's because your energy is uncompromised. and that intensity can make people feel exposed. It's as if you can see them, truly see them, and that level of transparency makes them stare, and then quickly look away. One of the reasons people stare is because you hold contrast. In a world that's become loud, rushed, superficial, you are still, deep, and real. That contrast makes people pause. It makes them question. Most are so used to seeing personas and performance, that when they encounter authenticity, they don't know how to respond. They freeze. They look longer than they should. You're not operating from ego, but from essence. And that essence can't be faked. You are a reminder of the soul in a world obsessed with the surface. And that alone is enough to make people stop in their tracks. Because you don't move with the world. You move with spirit. And spirit always causes people to stare. You are marked by resilience. People can see that you've been through things, and yet, you are not bitter, broken, or defeated. That alone makes you fascinating. How can someone go through so much and still carry peace in their eyes? Still walk with dignity? Still smile with softness? That question is what draws the gaze. Your scars are not visible, but they are felt. You carry the weight of wisdom earned through pain, and that wisdom radiates through your demeanor. People sense it. They see it in your calm, in your boundaries, in your refusal to settle. And even if they don't understand the full story, they feel the strength. It's written all over your energy. That's why they can't look away. There's an edge to you that feels both safe and dangerous. And that duality creates a powerful tension. On one hand, your spirit feels like healing, like a balm to the broken. On the other hand, you feel like exposure, like the truth that will shatter their illusions. And that tension creates magnetism. Some people look at you and want to be near. Others look and feel they should run. But both are drawn. This is what it means to walk with divine authority. You carry the sword of truth, even if you speak no words. And that sword pierces through falseness. It cuts through spiritual sleep. So they stare, not because they're rude, but because they're trying to assess whether they're ready for what you carry. The stares are sometimes a test. The universe will often place you in rooms where your presence alone causes disturbance, not to harm others, but to awaken them. You are an activator. And many are asleep. So when they see you, something stirs within them. It might be resistance. It might be admiration. It might be jealousy. But all of it is spiritual feedback. The attention you receive is not random. It is data. It shows you who is ready, who is watching, who is threatened, and who is drawn. As a chosen one, your life is a mirror and a message. So the stares, no matter how uncomfortable, are part of your assignment. You are not here to blend in. You are here to awaken. And awakening always begins with being seen. You must understand that your mere presence is disruptive, in the best way. It interrupts patterns. It shifts atmospheres. It creates new timelines. So when people look at you strangely, or watch you a little too long, it's not something to fear. It's a sign. A confirmation. The light in you is not going unnoticed. You are being perceived in the spirit, and even those without spiritual awareness are feeling something they can't quite name. You carry divine disruption. You carry prophecy. And those who encounter you sense that you're not just another person walking by, you are a spiritual event. And some part of them knows it. That's why they stare. You carry a kind of beauty that has nothing to do with the physical, and yet it radiates through your physical form. It's the beauty of alignment, of soul integrity. It's the glow of someone who has faced darkness and chosen light, again and again. People don't understand it, but they notice it. There's a brightness in your aura, a clarity in your eyes, a peace in your posture. And this kind of beauty cannot be purchased, replicated, or explained. It's sacred. People may stare at you because you remind them of what they lost, the innocence, the inner glow, the sense of wholeness they once had but buried. Your presence makes people long for something they've forgotten, something their soul remembers but their mind can't articulate. This longing shows up in their eyes. That quiet yearning. That spiritual hunger. You are not just beautiful, you are awakening the beauty in others. There's a sense of otherworldliness about you. As if you don't fully belong here. And the truth is, you don't. Your soul comes from realms beyond this one. You've always felt slightly out of place, like you're visiting this world rather than rooted in it. And that frequency, the not from your frequency, is something people pick up on, even unconsciously. They look at you and feel like you know things they don't. That you've seen things beyond the veil. That you're carrying codes from another dimension. And they're not wrong. You didn't come here to fit in. You came here to carry the frequency of your origin. You came to shift timelines, to awaken sleepers, to walk as a bridge between heaven and earth. People stare because your energy doesn't match this matrix. It echoes something higher, something pure. And that resonance draws both fascination and fear. Even your movements are different. There's grace in your steps, purpose in your pauses, presence in your stillness. You do not move in a hurry because your spirit is in alignment with divine timing. While the world rushes, you move in rhythm with spirit. And that rhythm stands out. It doesn't matter if you're walking down the street or simply standing in line, people notice. Your posture carries royalty. Your energy whispers sovereignty. And that vibration causes people to take a second look, then a third. They're trying to figure out what it is about you. Why they feel calmer just being near you. Why their thoughts get quiet when you enter a room. It's not about what you do, it's about what you emanate. And that sacred stillness is a rare thing in today's noisy world. People stare because they feel exposed around you. Not because you judge them, but because your energy reveals what they're trying to hide. Your presence has a way of pulling the mask off. Of bringing things to the surface. It's not intentional, it's energetic. You hold truth. You carry light. And light always reveals. So when someone encounters you, they feel seen. Truly seen. Their projections fall. Their pretenses dissolve. And for some, that feels liberating. But for others, it's terrifying. Because being seen means being known. And being known means being vulnerable. So while some people are drawn to your presence like a lighthouse, others are triggered by it and don't know why. Either way, your gaze disarms the facade and calls the soul forward. That is why they keep looking, and why some cannot bear to meet your eyes. The stares are not just from strangers. Sometimes, it's people you've known for years. They see the change in you, and it unsettles them. You've outgrown who they thought you were. And now, they don't know how to relate to you. Your elevation disturbs their stagnation. You rising reminds them of how long they've stayed stuck. And so, they stare, not in admiration, but in confusion. You are becoming unfamiliar to them. Not because you are lost, but because you are finding your truest self. And that journey, though beautiful, can make people uncomfortable. Especially those who were comfortable with the old version of you. The version that dimmed its light. That made itself small. Now that you're expanding, you've become a mirror they didn't ask for, but one they can't ignore. Some people stare at you because they want what you have, but they don't want to become who you had to become to get it. They want your peace, but not your process. Your glow, but not your pain. Your strength, but not your scars. And so, they look at you with a mixture of awe and resistance. They admire your outcome but resist your journey. What they don't understand is that your presence is not made of ease, it's made of endurance. You didn't stumble into this frequency. You bled for it. You cried for it. You died and resurrected spiritually to carry what you now carry. Your eyes tell the story. Your energy is the testimony. And when people stare, they're not just looking at you, they're witnessing what transformation looks like in human form. Even children notice you. They stare with wide eyes and open spirits. They are not yet conditioned to fear the light. They don't have filters. They feel energy without analyzing it. And so, when they look at you, it's pure recognition. They see the angelic in you. The purity. The power. They sense the magic. The mission. That's why babies smile at you. Why children follow you with their gaze. Why they want to be near. They sense safety, strength, and light. And often, they see more clearly than adults who have been numbed by the world. Their stares are not suspicious, they're sacred. They're a reminder that your energy is still aligned with heaven. That your soul still speaks the language of spirit. And they hear you, even when no words are spoken. There's an undeniable tension between the known and the unknown that lives within you. People sense it, that you've seen both heaven and hell and live to tell no one. You carry a paradox. A softness that's been sharpened by pain. A strength born not from pride, but from surrender. And this inner complexity makes people look longer than they intend to. You don't make sense by worldly standards, and that's exactly why you're unforgettable. You are both peace and fire. Rest and movement. Grace and gravity. This fusion of dualities is deeply spiritual, and the world is starving for that kind of integration. Most people are fragmented within. But you are whole, and becoming more whole by the day. Their stares are attempts to understand something their soul desperately wants, but their ego cannot grasp. You bring out reactions in people that they didn't know they had. You walk into a space and some feel inspired, others feel judged, and some can't even explain why their heart rate picks up. That's not about you, it's about what you activate. You carry the codes of awakening. Just your presence breaks stagnation. You weren't sent to comfort the status quo, you were sent to challenge it. This is why some people suddenly become nervous, defensive, or overly critical around you. It's not personal. It's spiritual. Your light stirs the dormant. Your energy confronts their numbness. That stare they give you is not just curiosity, it's confrontation. It's the battle between the soul's desire to grow and the ego's resistance to change. And you, chosen one, are the trigger they didn't expect. You are walking proof that healing is possible. That transformation is real. That resurrection is not just biblical, it's personal. People sense that you've died to who you once were. That you've laid down false identities, outdated beliefs, and soul contracts that no longer served your purpose. And that kind of liberation is rare. It intimidates those who still live in cages. They stare at you because they're trying to understand how you broke free. What did you do? What did you release? Who did you stop pretending to be? Their questions don't always reach their lips, but they flash through their eyes. You're not just a person, you're a walking prophecy. A testimony in motion. And people can't help but look at what God has resurrected. Even the spiritual realm watches you. You may feel eyes on you in places where no one is around. That's because your life carries weight in the spirit. Angels accompany you. Divine assignments follow you. And yes, resistance rises against you. The enemy sees your light. That's why warfare has followed you since birth. That's why you were targeted when you were still innocent. Because the enemy saw what was placed inside of you before you even knew your name. But you're still standing. Still glowing. Still becoming. That's why people stare. You've survived what others would have died under. You've healed from things no one knows you went through. And even the spiritual realm bears witness to your resilience. Your light is not only seen, it's protected. People often mistake your silence for weakness. But silence is your sanctuary. It's where you commune with God, where you process visions, where you recalibrate your frequency. You don't waste energy proving yourself, because your spirit speaks louder than words ever could. That makes people uncomfortable. They expect performance. But you offer presence. And presence is powerful. It commands space. It shifts the spiritual climate of a room. That's why they look. They feel it before they understand it. You are not here to convince anyone of who you are. You are here to embody it. And when you do, those who have eyes to see will recognize it, and those who don't will stare in confusion or denial. But either way, you are seen. There's a prophetic edge to your life that makes people feel like something is about to happen. You walk with a sense of divine timing, a sacred urgency. You carry the energy of transition, like you're standing between what was and what's coming. And people feel that. Even if they don't have the language for it. Your presence feels like the calm before a shift. The wind before the rain. And so, when you walk by, it feels like something spiritual has moved through the atmosphere. People stare because their spirits are sensing change. And you, chosen one, are often the sign. The vessel. The messenger. You don't have to say, "God sent me." Your energy already did. And they felt it. Sometimes, the stares aren't about you, they're about what's behind you. What walks with you. The presence you carry. The divine covering that surrounds you. You don't walk alone. There are forces assigned to your protection and elevation. People may not see them with their natural eyes, but their spirit feels the presence. That's why they turn around to look again. That's why they freeze when you pass. There is glory on you. Not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that commands it. The kind that speaks without speaking. That leads without pushing. You are not ordinary. You never were. And those who stare are witnessing something sacred, even if they never say a word. Your life carries a fragrance that cannot be masked. It's the fragrance of spiritual authority, of having been in the presence of the Most High. This invisible aroma follows you wherever you go, and people can't help but notice, even if they don't know what they're sensing. It's why some people look at you with confusion or fascination, why others smile without knowing why, and some look away abruptly, overwhelmed. You are soaked in the presence of something sacred. That fragrance is the residue of prayer, of fasting, of transformation, of nights spent in the wilderness wrestling with God and coming out blessed and changed. People stare because they feel the weight of your anointing, and they know, at a soul level, that they're standing in the presence of someone set apart. There is a divine intelligence in your eyes. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. When people look at you, they sense that you see things others miss. That you can read between the lines. That you know what's not being said. And that unnerves them. You're not easily deceived because you've learned how to listen to spirit before sound. You discern before you judge. You feel before you speak. And that depth makes shallow conversations feel exposed in your presence. People look at you and feel like you already know their truth, even if you never say a word. That gaze of yours doesn't accuse, it reveals. It's not confrontational, but it calls out the authentic self in everyone around you. That's why they stare. They're hoping to be seen, but terrified of being truly known. Your boundaries also play a part. You don't allow everyone access to you, and that creates an energy of exclusivity, not because you're elitist, but because you're protective of your peace. And that makes people wonder. The less they know about you, the more they want to. The fact that you're not easily available makes your presence more desirable. You don't overshare. You don't explain yourself. And you don't chase validation. That energy makes people stare because it challenges their need to be seen. In a world where everyone is shouting, you're whispering, and that whisper has more power than a scream. You remind people that mystery still exists. That privacy is powerful. And that sacredness should be protected, not put on display. Sometimes people stare because they can't believe someone like you exists. You are the embodiment of contradiction, gentle yet strong, quiet yet powerful, peaceful yet unapologetic. You break every mold, every stereotype, every box they tried to place you in. You don't follow trends. You follow spirit. And that originality makes you unforgettable. You were never meant to fit into this world. You were meant to realign it. Your existence is resistance. Resistance to conformity. To delusion. To spiritual sleep. When people stare at you, they're not just looking at a person, they're encountering a soul who chose truth over convenience, depth over popularity, destiny over comfort. That stare is part awe, part disbelief, and part deep recognition. Your story is written all over your energy. Not the details, but the essence. People don't have to know your past to feel the weight of what you've overcome. It's in the way you carry yourself. In the way your smile holds wisdom. In the way your silence carries fire. You've been through the kind of battles that leave no visible scars, but your energy tells it all. You are not bitter, you are seasoned. Not broken, but broken open. You've made peace with your pain and turned it into purpose. That's why people look at you with a strange reverence. They don't know your history, but they can feel your victory. And that unspoken story is what makes you stand out in a crowd of noise. There's also a supernatural timing in how you show up. You often appear in people's lives at exact moments, when they need clarity, when they're on the edge, when they're seeking but not sure what for. And your presence feels like an answer, like divine intervention. That's why people sometimes look at you like they've seen a ghost, or a sign, or a prophet. Because in that moment, your presence confirms something they couldn't put into words. You are the sign they prayed for. The confirmation they asked God for. The spiritual interruption they didn't expect. They may not tell you. They may not even be conscious of it. But their spirit knows. And that's why they watch you as if heaven itself just walked by. Even when you feel invisible, you are being seen. Not with eyes, but with spirit. There are days when you may wonder if your light is still shining, if your energy is still radiating. But rest assured, your presence never goes unnoticed. You leave energetic imprints wherever you go. You water souls even in silence. You awaken truth without trying. You are always being felt, even when you're not being acknowledged. That's the mystery of divine purpose. It doesn't need applause to be effective. People may not always give you credit, but their eyes tell the story. They stare because something in them recognizes something in you. Something they forgot. Something they need. Something they were waiting for. And you showed up. You were sent into this world as a living reminder that the divine still moves through human vessels. That miracles don't always come in blinding flashes, but in quiet souls who carry light wherever they go. You were chosen, not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. Willing to grow. Willing to endure. Willing to remember. Your life carries a blueprint of awakening. And everywhere you go, that blueprint is felt. People stare not because of your appearance, but because of your vibration. Because even in silence, you are teaching. Even in stillness, you are leading. Even in pain, you are healing. Your presence is prophetic. And those who stare are catching glimpses of the divine encoded in your existence. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be light. Every stare, every glance, every whisper behind your back is a signal that your frequency is cutting through the noise. Some are watching to mock. Others are watching to learn. Some are intimidated. Others are inspired. But all are witnessing something rare. You don't follow scripts, you flow with spirit. You don't demand attention, but you carry it with you wherever you go. That's the mark of a soul who remembers who they are. You are not better than others, but you are different. You chose truth over comfort, alignment over applause. And for that, the world cannot look away. You are a walking contradiction to a system built on pretense. A holy disruption to a world asleep in illusions. They stare because they sense that just by being near you, something in them might finally awaken. So if this message has spoken to your soul, if you recognize yourself in these words, if you felt the eyes, the silence, the strange tension of being seen but not understood, know this: you are not alone. You are part of a sacred remnant. A generation of souls rising from the ashes with wisdom in their wounds and fire in their bones. Write in the comments, "I was born for this light." Declare it to the universe. Let the world know that you are no longer dimming, no longer shrinking, no longer doubting your place in the divine order. Like this video to affirm your truth. Subscribe to this channel if you want to keep walking this journey of awakening together. And activate the notification bell so you never miss a divine transmission meant for your spirit. We also want to take a moment to thank those who support this channel through Buy Me a Coffee. Your support helps us go deeper, reach farther, and continue to deliver content that nourishes the soul. Every contribution, every gesture of support is felt with gratitude and used to bring more light into this world. If you'd like to join those who have helped this mission grow, the link is pinned in the first comment. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Your generosity is fuel for this purpose, and your belief in this work keeps the flame burning bright. You are a vital part of this movement, and we bless you for your faith and support. If this message stirred something in you, don't let it stop here. Watch the video recommended on the screen. It will take you even deeper into your journey. Let these messages wash over you until they become part of your daily consciousness. Let them remind you of who you really are. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Until next time.